Hey everybody, welcome back. This is the top 10 Game Boy Advance games, according to yours truly. For those that don't know, the Game Boy Advance is the sequel handheld to the Game Boy Color and was released in 2001 and had some pretty great games. And here's 10 of the best ones. Coming in at number 10, we have Rayman Advance, a port of the original Rayman game, taking the usual Game Boy Advance game naming system of adding Advance to the title to signify it being a Game Boy Advance version, like Advance Wars, Rayman Advance, Super Mario Advance, so on and so forth. For players of the original game, there's not much of a gameplay difference really, and just some changes in the music and graphics. It's a classic platformer and one of the best available on the Game Boy Advance. Who wouldn't like to play a character who has detachable fists that they can shoot at somebody that come back like a freaking boomerang? It's wacky, colorful, and fun. Rayman Advance was a pretty good port that still brings nostalgia to fans of good old platforming gameplay. Coming in at number 9, we have Golden Sun: The Lost Age. The second game in the Golden Sun trilogy, and a game that has done something that you don't see often in video games really. It is a direct sequel to the first game, but the characters you play switch to being Felix and crew, who were basically antagonists from the first game. It's an interesting plot twist, and probably not expected from players of the first game at all. This game was interesting in its usage of various types of magic called Psi Energy, having a use both in battle as well as outside of battle as well, for solving puzzles to continue the story or to access hidden areas. Coming in at number 8, we have Dragon Ball Z: Boo's Fury, the third game in the Legacy of Goku trilogy on the Game Boy Advance. Boo's Fury, as the name implies, covers the Boo saga of the anime, taking place right after Goku died from the Cell fight and starts training on the Grand Kai's planet. It even covers films like Brawly and Janemba as well. This game, unlike the first one, features multiple playable characters rather than just Goku. You can play as Gohan, Vegeta, so on and so forth, you know, the Z Fighter crew. The Legacy of Goku is one of the first Dragon Ball Z games that wasn't a 1v1 fighter or anything, so this whole trilogy definitely stuck out to me. It's DBZ in JRPG form. Good times. Coming in at number 7, we have Megaman Zero, another series of the Mega Man franchise. The first Megaman Zero started this off quite nice with its action-oriented gameplay focused solely around Zero, taking place some years after the Mega Man X series, and unfortunately lacking X as a playable character at all, though the gameplay and changes in the series do quite make up for it really. Zero collects various weapons, but his gameplay isn't changed much to make him more like X, which is also nice. Outside of that, a lot of the things are very similar to the X series though. This game was followed up by 3 more games in the series. Coming in at number 6, we have Mega Man Battle Network. Yet again, another Mega Man franchise series. There's like, what, 7 freaking different series now belonging to this franchise? Reminded me of Mario, honestly, at this point. Battle Network is the first game in the Battle Network series, obviously, and was followed by 5 more games, Battle Network 1 through 6, all for the Game Boy Advance. But 5 does have a DS version as well. Now, we've seen Mega Man as a robot, we've seen him as a Reploid, which is a different kind of robot, pretty much. We've seen him as a Digger, as in Mega Man Legends. And now in Battle Network, we get to see him as a freaking computer program, basically. Mega Man Battle Network changed the series from a 2D side-scroller to this time being a JRPG of sorts, with a focus on collecting chips which you use for combat and various upgrades to Mega Man that you find throughout the course of the game. Coming in at number 5, we have The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap. What is there to really say about Minish Cap? Once again, it's another Zelda game. They do typically tend to have a new trick in every game though. This one being the mystical Minish cap. The gimmick of this game is that Link can shrink down to minute size in order to interact with the titular Minish people of the game and collect various items and traverse different areas. Outside of that, it's very similar to previous Zelda games like A Link to the Past, so on and so forth. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Coming in at number 4, we have Pokemon Fire Red / Leaf Green. The remake of the Pokemon games that started it all. It had a few differences and improvements, mainly being the graphics. Much more colorful and visually appealing compared to the originals. It's in full color now, and it's pretty freaking beautiful at that. The remakes also included features from Pokemon games released since the originals, like Gold and Silver, and Ruby and Sapphire. Features such as Pokemon genders, natures, the Steel and Dark types, and other improvements. As well as including some of the second generation Pokemon being available for capture as well, the Johto region. Now, while you guys think about what the top 3 might be, remember to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already, and if you want to see any more videos like this, leave your suggestions in the comment section below and I'll be checking them out. Now, did you guys guess what the top 3 are? Here we go. Coming in at number 3, we have Advance Wars 2 Black Hole Rising. The sequel to the first Advance Wars game, also for the Game Boy Advance. One of the highest rated Game Boy Advance games, and with good freaking reason. This took everything from the first one and just added more to it. More COs, commanding officers, more maps. Oddly enough though, only one new unit was added for some reason. And it also includes the addition of Super CO powers in addition to the regular CO powers from the first game. If there is negative criticism to this game, it's mostly directed at the fact that the game was really just more of the first one, down to the plot of fighting the same country all over again even. That part aside, it's a classic Game Boy Advance game that no one interested in tactical games and Game Boy Advance games in general should go without trying. Coming in at number 2, we have Fire Emblem, The Sacred Stones. The third Fire Emblem game released on the Game Boy Advance and the second released in the West. Easily one of the best titles available on the Game Boy Advance, one of the top rated, and an overall beautiful adventure filled with the classic storytelling about war between various kingdoms that the Fire Emblem series is now well known for. This one in particular was my introduction to the series, if I remember correctly, and what an introduction it was. Truly a tactical RPG at its finest. The permanent death feature in the series overall has led to numerous chapters being restarted due to wanting a perfectly clean streak with no character losses. My perfectionism has led to me beating pretty much every Fire Emblem game that I've played without losing a character, unless it was a story necessity kind of thing. Who could forget that feeling of frustration you get when you're doing a battle great and lose someone, and then instantly hit that reset button and try to battle all over just to see how you could handle it a little bit better? I sure remember those days. So much nostalgia. Coming in at number 1, we have, of course, if you didn't guess it, here it is, guys. Metroid Fusion. The first Metroid game for the Game Boy Advance. One of the highest rated Game Boy Advance games ever, as well as one of the top selling. This is the first of the Metroid series released since Super Metroid for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, released roughly 8 years later. It introduced the series to a brand new audience and into handheld gaming as well, and brought true suspense and terror into many players everywhere, myself included, with that freaking antagonist SA-X, which is basically a parasitic copy of Samus that you run into on numerous occasions throughout the course of the game that is an unbeatable enemy until the finale. When you finally do get to fight it for real and not just have to run and hide from it, you really get this sense of Samus's nightmare finally being over. a great game, one of my favorite Game Boy Advance games, and one of my favorite series ever. As usual, honorable mentions will be in the description box below, and I am going to be going over one of the honorable mentions as a bonus right now. This one is Baktai, The Sun is in Your Hand. This game is the first in the Boktai series and is unique as it requires sunlight to play, and I can't think of any other game that actually does this. The premise of being a vampire hunter that uses a solar gun to kill vampires is pretty freaking interesting, to say the least. The cartridge has a light sensor, and to charge your weapons you have to go outside and play basically in the sun. That must have been a pretty interesting way to get kids to go outside and get some sunlight while also playing the Game Boy Advances. Pretty cool idea, honestly. The game itself is pretty good and is an action-adventure RPG with the gameplay focused around traveling through dungeons, taking out vampires and other creatures with your solar powers. If you don't have a Game Boy Advance and whatnot still, which I'm sure most of us don't, you have to just get it on an emulator and make sure you find one that has the solar patch and whatnot built in so you can still play the game as it properly should be played, or close enough. As always guys, this list, some of the titles are changeable depending on the criteria and my mood and things of that nature. And when it comes to these games that are part of a series like Megaman Zero and Megaman Battle Network, some of them are a bit interchangeable because of the relatively minor differences between various games, like 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. So you can consider the whole series as part of the overall best game, so to speak. Remember guys to follow the channel on Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter. I live stream on Twitch on a pretty regular basis, and of course I discuss video games more so while I'm streaming, and I'd love to talk to you guys about games while I'm live, so check me out there. Thanks for watching. This is ENT, and I am OUT.